And we're on. What's good, Ahmed?
Hey,
Woo.
well, that's good. Oh
Good,
man.
man. We had a little conversation right before this, so I say we dive back in, man. Look at this map. The United States is one big ass dust bowl with like some green spots.
Yeah.
East Coast is pretty damn good. I didn't realize everything was so fucking dry, bro. Is this what they mean
Well,
by global warming? Was it greener before? I think we fucked that shit up.
no, because it was like this 50 years ago too, like during those Steinbeck's books and uh, the early uh, part of last century. They wrote a lot of books about people migrating from here to the west. Um,
Did we cause that, or is that just like,
I'm not sure if it's natural or if it was like combined with over farming those areas.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking, dude. Like, cause they pulled a lot of water from everywhere to such like great green patches, like you said. Look at that, dude, little green
What,
patches everywhere. So
where
fucking.
would you? I mean, we have technology now though with like solar power being able to give us free electricity to actually move water from one place to another. So we can pretty much like, terraform a lot of places, to the way that we want. Because some of these places there's like water in the mountains, and that's how we have Las Vegas and all of, the desert that we live in SoCal. That's how that's how pretty much it is that we were able to use energy to create these places of abundance in the desert. Like, look at how completely yellow it is as soon as you go over the mountains in SoCal.
So dry.
Just burnt by sun.
Nothing. I I don't understand why you go civilization like this. Like, why don't we just stay where we can stay and like we're testing nature and I don't get why. Like, living on places fucking sucks.
What I don't get is why is there not more people on the East Coast where it's just like totally green? Why is everyone not all over here? Why is the beach so like super crowded?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like these storms and stuff. They like
It's
some of these can be pretty horrific.
it,
Like,
it gets back to West Coast is the best coast, bro. Basically it. And then everybody moves. Everybody like, fuck this place. And, I don't know. Maybe it's Hollywood. I don't get it.
well, the storms and so like the natural disasters like storms and tornadoes. And I talked to this one guy. He came from I'm not sure if it was Texas or it started with the M. Oh, he came from Mississippi, right? There was like some sort of tornado, and his house just like just disappeared from a tornado, and then he didn't seem too worried about it because he has house insurance, and he just was able to completely rebuild his house.
That's pretty tight.
So,
That's insane.
but yeah, like I really for the times that we're in, um, it's nice to be in a green area where because a lot of the plants that I'm growing right now, they're like, and a lot of plants that you grow in the world, just like it's better if you grow it in a tropical, more humid environment with an abundance of water. Um, then you barely have to water stuff. And here I have to like completely pour like gallons of water on my plants, and they're gonna take years to grow. The ultimate output that they're gonna give me is gonna be worth less than the water that I used on them. Whereas on the East Coast, in all the eastern states, it's just like much easier to live a survival life.
Hmm.
Although the thing is, so the only problem is the frost, storms, and tornadoes. Storms and tornadoes are the same thing, but
Damn, you do grow a lot of vegetables in California.
yeah, and it takes so much
Why?
water.
Why?
Like
How?
by lowering our waterbed
Dude,
and
like literally, this is
endangering populations of.
it's tiny compared to the rest of the country, but like, why do we grow so much? Like, it's not correct.
Like Trump signed this exact. I was reading this like just an hour ago. Like Trump signed some sort of executive order to allow us to take more water from here. And then our governor, I don't know if it's good or bad, but he's like, no, we can't because it would endanger certain bird species, and then it could possibly cascade into unknown problems because ecological connections are so hard to understand because the birds they like support certain species of plants, and then the plants they support certain animals, and the animals they in turn affect other plants, and like taking away one animal can disturb a whole ecosystem like over a year and actually like cause terrestrial uh, like flora to just totally disappear because they're not getting flowered um, and pollinated and stuff. That's why bees are so important.
Yeah, we do gotta save the bees.
I wonder if that kind of it just seems so much nicer, on the east side with all the from a satellite level,
Yeah, it does.
all the green,
It's
but
so green compared to like California is a weird blotch of like super green and nothing in deserts and like just so much just dirt and like wow, I never realized that.
I mean, there's a reason why everyone, we started here, right? And then everyone moved west, and then everyone's not over on the west side. A lot of most people stayed on the east side of the U.S. There's a reason for that. A lot of people, not everyone moved to the west coast.
But California had gold.
Mm-hmm. That was a big push.
California, they were like, damn, that's what gold. This is what gold does. It just builds California. California was built on gold, quite literally. Literally. Damn, insane. Where did she, where did it
I,
all go? Where
Without
did
the
gold
gold
go?
rush, a
Yeah,
lot of people wouldn't, because people were comfortable, you know, living off the fat of the land, and they are still probably comfortable living off fat of the land on the east side because there's more moisture and everything. But everyone wants to get more, and they don't want just comfort. So that's why the gold rush pushed them out towards the west coast, and it was probably a lot less arid back then. Probably didn't have all this. They probably passed over here, and then yeah, like this whole area used to be like a marsh. All the Central Valley used to be a marsh. There was a lot of water, and then people populated it and it just dried up. All these farms got built on marshes and stuff. After just many generations, there used to be like a huge ass river where I live right now, in Visalia, like right here. And
and now there's
a
none.
lot of oak trees. Yeah, now there's not. There's like used to be like one of the biggest rivers in California. I mean, biggest lakes in California. It just completely disappeared because of all the farming and civilization that moved over here. Gold rush, like you said. Yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I gotta do an Airbnb or something over in the East Coast. I've been meaning to travel. That was what I was planning on doing until this, you know, police state um, pandemic situation happened here. Pandemic. I think the biggest deception with the whole pandemic thing is like how people when they say fatality, they say fatality. They don't say case fatality. Like, oh, 10% of or 4% of people are dying. Yeah, that's the 4% of the people that got tested for it. And the website isn't accurate either. I mean, worldometers, when you go on there, it's like they should be more specific that it's not. it's not all the people that exist in the U.S. 529,000, like that's 900 people a day, and that's not that considering we have 350 million people or 30, 40 million people. That's not that much. I know what that is if you divide that by. So that's 0.1%, 0.15% of people have died in the US from COVID so far. So why don't you look at that number, instead of, and I mean, that's not counting in that, people are being replaced, people are being born every minute. And
It's true. But yeah, thing is a trip. We really need to like, I don't know, stop listening to like what six people say or six corporations say.
you know,
Like, there such thing as like free journalism anymore? Like, I don't know who to really trust. Like,
there's very few, like alternative media is probably the only place that there is, because mainstream media, they literally pay you to read lines
yeah.
and read it
So,
as if they're actors. Corbett, Corbett, he's probably one of the realest journalists. Like he actually does like investigative. You know, Alex Jones and all these other supposed terrorists of the state. They're literally on the terrorist watch. You know, like there's like a list of Alex Jones had it in one of those articles. Like the government has this like terrorist watch list.
active cases, closed cases, cases which had an outcome. What does that mean? What does cases which had an outcome mean?
Like they completely died or they completely recovered. So like, of these 11 million cases,
Yeah.
wait, this is by the world, by country. Oh, here it is. So if we click US, we can just click on that. So that's yeah. So 3 million cases about, and then 1.2 million recovered, 132,000 died. So like 90% recovered. 10 of the people that they tested.
10% died.
Yeah. Oh, this is just of the people that they tested. There's millions of people that they didn't test. Just because it's been here since December, November. Since around the same time China had it, it's been spreading over here. Because people go from China to US all the time. Of course, it's gonna be here since then. So there's way more than just 3 million cases. So they're taking a very small sample and they're saying, oh, of this small sample, you know, 90% recovered and then 10% died after we gave them this test, this PCR test, which has like half false positives. They're not saying the last part.
Why don't they make those here, man? Why do you trust China to make shit like that? You really need to like be. I don't know.
Do, do they make these test kits? They don't make these tests. Yeah, I think like a lot of these test kits are from
From
China,
China.
Europe, and stuff.
Yeah.
All of them
So
aren't though, right? I
a
think
ton of them. I don't know if all of them. I can't say that, but I know in the beginning or whatever, like a ton of them from China, and I'm like,
No,
very
I don't really
like,
care about the tests. For me, like every time someone messes up, talks about the cases, I'm like, whatever. They're just cases. There could be false, they could be true, whatever. What if they're all true and they're actually true? So what? We're closer to herd immunity, right? The actual cases is way, way, way higher. The denominator is way, way, way higher than these deaths. But the question is the deaths. How many of these deaths are actually COVID? How many are actually people being forced on ventilators, malnourished people who don't have their basic nutritional needs, um, misdiagnosed people like who died from something else, a lot of underlying symptoms, I mean underlying diseases, you know.
yeah.
I would add a few million to this number of cases, and then we're talking.
How many more?
Because every person that dies, pretty much everyone that dies gets tested for COVID.
Yeah,
That's the problem too. Like people can die of something random and they get tested for COVID, they come up with a positive test, and okay, that was a COVID death. Like the NYC nurse, she was showing like on her phone, literally, she like she had like some Google Lens. She goes into the hospital and she just like records all the conversations that this, you know, creepy sounding doctor from no, it's, sounds like he's like a doctor from the concentration camps and stuff. He's just like, oh, it doesn't. We cannot help them. We cannot save them all. I am expecting 95% to die, like so coldly and stuff. It's just horrible. But yeah, she records like how um, one patient he got tested. He didn't get tested positive for COVID, but they still said it's a COVID death. The test result came negative,
oh fuck,
and then this at the top level, they were just like, "Oh yeah, he died from COVID." Yeah,
that's messed up.
so it's like a straight lie. Like so, on top of the half false positives, and then um, so yeah, even this number the death number is extremely exaggerated. The cases are extremely understated. So when you like you when you properly increase these numbers, I mean it's way way less than
But
anything.
are they really going to test everybody for every disease ever? Like, is that the point where we're gonna get to? They're gonna just like give us a blood sample every time they want. Like, it's basically even if we get the chip or not, like just on the way we're reacted to this pandemic, it's how do you de-escalate from that? Because they can
Actually,
easily get escalated. We can easily go China here. I mean, like, literally just lock down whole fucking cities and be like, nobody's going anywhere.
that's exactly why I'm not getting tested. So I feel like these tests, they're using it as a fear tool, a tool of fear. Um,
Are they gonna
like
do it
if
every
you just
time? Every time there's this crazy disease that they say everybody has. I mean, I, I feel bad saying it, but it's only gonna get worse. Like, if there is a global conspiracy and such and such, the next one they release is gonna be way worse.
But then I don't think it's okay. So you're talking about this next one. Bill Gates is talking about the next one, and he was snickering about it. He was like, "Oh, the next people will get it when they see the next one." Like
Yeah,
you saw that, right? I mean,
yeah, I saw that. It's
this
like,
is like his one. This is like third time
dude,
snickering on camera about people dying.
we
Like,
gotta stop trusting fucking billionaires, dude. Or like 99% of the billionaires. They're okay. I'll give you some good billionaires here and there, but what about the rest of them?
yeah, I mean, the fact that they're not scared, shows that okay, this is just bullshit. Because if it was real pandemic, I mean that's not really a big case I'm making, but the big case that I'm making is that like if this was real, we wouldn't. I calculated this no, number wrong. So like 132,000 died in the U.S. and then divided by 333 million, that's ridiculously low. It's like 0.0039.
Mm-mm-mm. Ridiculous.
So it's like not even 0.01%. It's like 0.0039. So it's like 0% of people have died from it. So like that's not that many people. That's less than the flu. On a yearly level, less people, more people die from the flu, right? So yearly deaths from flu. Yes. Every year, on average,
Point
200,000 people
5%.
has 56,000 die. That's just flu. I think like influenza, right? Like all of the flu related. Yeah, so this is 34,000 to 64,000, but I forgot where I saw the number. But I was looking at like the whole global number. Like it was like millions of people die from flu anyways every year. And then we have 500,000 dead so far. So I mean we haven't reached the yearly uh, amount that people die from flu.
Flu from a set of diseases.
Yeah, so like maybe this might have some info. Flu versus COVID.
Where's this going? Is this?
Wait,
Oh, oh
why not?
man, I imagine the cartoon coming out of that. Flu versus COVID. What?
Is this
Okay,
reliable?
go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Is it really saying? Hold up, hold up. 30% of 85-year-olds are getting it? Wait, is that what it's saying? Flu versus
Yeah, COVID, 30% of dead are dying from it. So
what? Oh man.
and then 20% of
Going
75 to 80, and then 65 to 74, like 10%.
0 to 4-year-old is one.
So this is a fatality rate, like case fatality, right? So like 85-year-olds or higher that get it, 30% of them die. So if you add up,
So far, more than 6% of people with corona cases have died.
on average, it's like if you're older than 65, there's a 20% chance you're gonna die if you get it.
I don't know. I think this number is overinflated or
Yeah, it
it
seems over.
really,
I mean,
it,
the
yeah.
the plagues, the previous plagues, it was a death rate of 50, 60%. Like if you got it, you're gonna, flip a coin, you're gonna die. Like these, the
Flip a coin.
it's all these untrustworthy things going on in the hospitals, our not so um, reliable healthcare system, which is based on drugs and money and bribes. Little because it's bribes. You get every COVID test you get 15K for each person, out of the printing press. money go burr burr burr, right? Um, anyway, I wonder
Anyway,
what Q has to say about this stuff. Uh,
cool.
the Q movement. Sometimes they post stuff about COVID, and they're pretty much on the side that it's used as a tool to control people. But a lot of the Q stuff is more about this Epstein stuff that's coming out, and he's just posting all these pictures of Clinton with his girls. So like the Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, she's supposedly gonna unveil stuff on Clinton and Prince, what's his name, uh, and Prince Andrew, just like posting these pictures. Yeah, it's a Q bomb.
That's hilarious.
And there's like this little picture. There's a picture he posted of the dungeons underneath Epstein Island. I think I saw this in higher resolution. Yeah, I
High
saw this in a YouTube.
resolution.
I saw this in a YouTube video somewhere, but it seems like he took that from the video. But yeah, there's tons of documentaries out, and um, yeah, he even posted this list about people that are gonna get ratted out on by possibly ratted out on by Maxwell.
Damn.
I didn't know Tom. I thought Tom Hanks was good. Oh wait, no, Tom Hanks is bad.
There's a lot of names here. Obama.
Obama, of course. I mean,
Oh man. I mean, what's the outcome of all of this? Like,
I'm glad to not see Robin Williams on here. May he rest in peace. But he posted some Twitter stuff about how everyone was just pedophile. Him and the Tom Cruise, they both had pretty uh, whistleblower Twitter messages. That Hollywood is just full of pedophiles. Just straight up, they just said it.
a whole different mess. How do you solve any of these fucking problems, bro? Like, there's a
It's,
ton.
it's gonna it's gonna collapse in on itself because Maxwell's gonna rat out one person, or a few people, and they're gonna try to defend themselves, and it's just gonna crumble. There's no way that. And then Clinton already has those leaks, and we got all these images getting out here. Epstein rape survivor Shantae Davies. I think I've heard her name before, but she was like some other uh, chicks that probably uh, in the whole sex trafficking thing with them. I mean, it was their choice probably, but the fact is, these politicians are all in this shady.
There was a choice, probably. Good.
Isn't it like because they seem like in this
Hey,
picture they seem happy.
they seem happy. I don't know. I wouldn't say shit. All I would say is this shit ain't uncommon, dude. Like, even if they didn't do it, this has been done since fucking money was invented, basically. Since
Yeah, but I mean,
agriculture, since there was enough women to do this, it has been done in one way or another. Like, it's
yeah,
insane.
Clinton just looks like he's having way too much fun. Where's, yeah, this is Prince Andrew.
Yeah, I saw that the
She's
documentary on
17.
Netflix
Like,
about the whole thing, and I was like, damn, this shit That fool went hard, bro. That fool was a straight up fucking creep, dude. Like in every which way and form. Like that fool was a creep to like everybody, including his bosses and shit. Like, god damn, how does this fool get to such level to be able to like? How do people like that get to such high level? My question. So often.
That's the thing is that's why they get to such high levels. Um, so that they can continue to do that. I mean, it's kind of like a circular reasoning, but
What do
uh,
you mean?
I mean, if they were in smaller circles, they probably wouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff. But Hillary Clinton, like this little crop that he Q posted is, saying Hillary Clinton and Foundation crime against children. This was on Fox News, and so they start a lot of these foundations so that they can help these children, but they're actually cherry picking a lot of these children for their sex trafficking. Most of them they're not. A lot of them they're helping, but some of them they're picking them out and putting them in their network. Um, and I mean
Is
that
there
business.
anything not related to this? Like everything right here seems that it's the same topic.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I wonder why Q is. I'm just wondering why Q is posting all this stuff about that. I mean, it goes. Q talks a lot about that stuff about how Donald Trump is really cracking down on all these sex trafficking victims and Clinton's leaked emails and stuff, and it seems to be really true. There's too much memos and proof about it and pictures and celebrities talking about it in previous documentaries that it doesn't even lie.
It's been severely documented.
Yeah, it's not a lie. I mean,
It's
Donald Trump
pretty,
isn't
yeah,
lying.
it's pretty there.
The Q movement is not lying about it. But yeah, the only benefit I can see is that it's improving his chances at election, which is only incidental. Uh,
And so, yeah, Trump's still a hard vote, bro. Like, it's easier to maybe even not vote than to fucking vote for either of those motherfuckers. And if it was my choice, I'd vote for a new party that actually stands for fucking something and can actually organize itself in order to like kick these motherfuckers' asses. But there's not. Everybody, like the Libertarian Party, can actually fucking do some shit if it organizes itself in a very good, efficient manner. It has enough resources and enough people. It has what, a couple million people that would self-identify as libertarian and would potentially vote for the Libertarian Party.
yeah, but
So
probably a lot more that happen.
if the Libertarian Party could actually organize itself, then maybe we're talking, but they don't. I don't know how the hell they, how much does it cost to actually be in every fucking ballot across the United States? How many millions of dollars does it actually cost?
Mm.
That's
I
a very good impediment of any party getting into this system, first of all. Second, the debates or whatever the fuck you want to call them, they're not really debates, they're like sound bits. And they're hilarious sometimes, don't get me wrong. Fucking they're funny and they're cool sounding and shit. But they're just sound bits. So those things are controlled by not that many people. So
mm,
we need to create a way so that people can have awareness. So if every libertarian party, every libertarian would, let's just say, if the Libertarian Party would sponsor an app that could show how much potential it has, how much power it actually has, and everybody who's a libertarian would be like, okay, I'll go on this app and I'll say I'm a libertarian. It could be blockchain fucking secure in the back end so nobody knows who the fuck you are and it can be going through that, whatever you would call it that end. But the main point is you would be able to put, okay, I'm a libertarian. And you can count all those libertarian votes. How many of those votes, how many people in the Libertarian Party would do something like that? And then even within the app, they can vote for which person in the Libertarian Party they want to actually vote for. Who just left? I just left you speechless. What's up?
Yeah, there's polls, but ultimately everyone has to vote the same way as everyone else votes
I
for the
know, but polls aren't. Where are these polls? Show me.
a lot of these polls aren't really
Show me. Show me these polls. Where?
they're pretty biased, but like there's polls
Where?
on like
How
more
many people?
liberal.
How many people are these polls? Did you vote? Were you on these polls?
I mean, I don't really trust any of these polls. Like,
Exactly. So why are you bringing them up? So what if you don't have to trust in the polls and you vote yourself and you can see the number go up or down?
yeah, some polls say like the more libertarian sites that people visit, there's polls there, and there Joe's winning. Some of the more like liberal sites have polls. Biden's winning there, surprisingly enough. Of course, the Republican conservative sites, Trump's winning there. So it's like polls are polls, they're within a certain audience. Um, but it's interesting thing here is saying that independents are the largest group of voters, nearly 40% of the electorate. I didn't know that. That's a pretty good sign. More than 70% of independents want an alternative to Democrats and Republicans. So I think
And and the thing is that they're not organized. All these numbers and all these polls means that if they got organized, they could actually move some shit and do some
no,
shit.
they are
Point
they're
is,
organized. They're under the
how?
independent party. Uh,
How?
yeah, it's called the independent party. I mean, a lot of people they're not even in the independent party and they still vote. You can just write in your vote and they'll still go towards the person. You just won't be counted in the independent party and be serving as a number to inspire other people to do the same. But there's more than 40% of people that are independent and looking for someone outside of left and right.
How many? Right now, at this point in time. What if you can know? What if you can actually vote on and say you have your part in this? What do you identify as? What are you trying to vote for?
Yeah, you're talking about um, some sort of like universal polling platform, which would
Yeah,
be great, because all these bullshit polls and like their
exactly.
independent
This is what
sites
I'm
and
talking about. This is exactly
people
what I'm
have no
talking about.
idea. People have no idea what to have hope for.
Exactly. You're making all my points for me, man. This is exactly what we need. If they could organize and they would have a good platform. At this point in time, everybody just kind of likes somebody, but nobody's willing to fucking show it. And polls are very slow and static. It's a one-time thing. Or who do you think is me at this point in time? Why? Why can't we have something that's live and we can actually we do that shit in Twitter by voicing our opinions on who we're gonna vote for anyways. And you might as well fucking put your vote where your fucking mouth is. And like maybe it doesn't count. Maybe it's not official. Don't make it official. Make it for fun. I don't give a fuck. But the point is to have the freedom to show this is how much and keep that fluid. Keep that moving. Why do we have to everybody this whole thing that voting is the one thing you do at one point in time is fucking shady. It's some shady shit. It feels shady. Why? Why does it matter who the fuck we vote for? And why can we change who the hell we're gonna vote for into the dead of like the cutoff date? And this is one concept that blows my mind. Why do we still live in an age where you vote for basically everything fucking else and you can buy everything else online, but voting is a one-time thing at this one place and you have to move and you have to this. Like I understand there's
Yeah,
security
so
risk.
I think this is the site we're looking for here. This Real Clear Politics. They basically take the averages from a bunch of different sites and then they put them together, which doesn't, which might not mean shit since some people might be voting multiple times on each of those
All right,
platforms.
let's let's look at how many people actually they're counting. Let's look at how many people they're actually counting.
Polling data, but I think these are verified users, so like based on an email, I'm guessing.
1,800, 900. How many thousands of people are there? Why can't we have millions? Why is
Yes.
there only a couple thousand? The idea, how do they get out of these pools? Do you know how they get out of these pools? What specific people they call? Because there's only 1,000. There's only 1,500 here. It's only like who are they calling? In what ways? Is it still only landlines? Because I remember they could only call people, or they could only get polls if you, they call by landline. Have you ever been called for a poll?
Okay, so these people that downloaded this app and then they put in their, you know, their vote there. Uh, yeah, that's why the numbers are so small because these are people, only a few thousand people bothered to do it within a couple of days, you know. So these are like within these periods of time. Because you have to
Yeah,
download the
why
app and all that shit.
why are all these votes so static? Why can't they aggregate everything? Why can't like I don't get it. These are all
Yeah, they
different
did. I
states.
think they did aggregate all of them
Yeah, but
and they put them
this is
together.
over a couple of months, bro. All these polls are over like months.
Hmm.
They're set polls with a set number of people over a couple of months. Why is that? The data set is so minuscule. Like you don't have enough data to say who the fuck people are gonna vote for based on 1,000 motherfuckers.
And this is not good.
You don't.
Trump getting. How can people even think about voting for Biden? I don't get it.
I don't get it
That's
either.
like that's
Wait,
like choosing between a gorilla and a human being.
a what?
I mean, at least Trump can make intelligible sentences,
So
and
far,
he can
sometimes.
he can protect our rights, and he can call out fake news. You know, so what if he's a pervert? You know, he's not your role model. He's a president. He's gonna act on his policy.
He's not your role model. He's your president. That should be a Trump shirt if I ever heard one, dude. That that
I mean,
that's
I have a
pretty
point,
good.
right? I mean, people
That's
are
pretty
like,
good. That's pretty good.
so Obama, oh wow, he speaks so eloquently and so persuasively. But then he literally, put down the black people even more. You know, he under his presidency, like less black people, more black people became unemployed, and he increased the taxes and like all the stuff that he did, Trump pretty much reversed. Um, Obama increased wars, increased spending. But yeah, like a smooth talker, I don't know how people can just believe in smooth talkers and stuff. I think a lot of these people voting for Biden are just they probably didn't
I'm
even
gonna
listen to him
lie.
talk.
I voted for Obama, and I voted for him because he was black.
Yeah, I
Like
thought he was a
literally.
really intelligent guy. I thought he was one of those intelligent good guys. But he's one of those intelligent good liars.
I mean, presidents are puppets, and power structure is weird right now, man. I don't understand how power structure can be so fucking solid and rigid, and why. Hmm.
Yeah, that's why I just want to move to somewhere I can just I feel like a lot of the power structure is just very externalized. Sometimes I do get the sense that like we are individually important
Yeah, I
and
believe it.
like
I
we do.
believe it.
But
And
just in case we're not important, I want to move away and be somewhere I can just eat my homegrown eggs and vegetables and wait out um, the prison state from coming over and mandating vaccines for me to just go to the market. Like in Canada, I think it's already passed like mandatory vaccines. I feel sad for them.
mandatory vaccines in Canada.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I think it was defeated. Mandatory vaccination bill defeated 22 to 20, barely.
Why do so very few people vote? Is my point again.
It's like they just I feel like it's so doctored.
I don't get
It's like, oh,
why
you guys barely made it out this
I
time.
this representative democracy is fucking bullshit. Cause like people shouldn't have power that isn't there. So telling you,
Yeah, like
we need a new voting system where power is liquid. That's what I'm talking about. An actual power system where power, like, or hierarchical system where power is fucking liquid. Because this thing about voting for this guy and voting for that guy to decide one thing and then decide everything for us. Look, I understand if you want to give your power to someone else. And this is what I'm talking about with the other voting system, with the liquid, liquid democracy, that you give your power to whoever the fuck you want if you want to give it to him. And if you want to take it back and actually vote for something, then you vote for something and that would count to the actual vote of whatever the hell you're trying to do. And if you don't care, that's cool. You don't have to vote. Your vote won't be counted. It won't be aggregated. So it really, what's the point? What's the difference there?
mhm.
So this is where we need a completely new system. And we don't fucking actually need a system. We just need to create a polling fucking thing. Man, this is what we need. We need to create a way to poll everybody's opinion and allow them to vote for whatever the hell they want or don't
like
care
an
to vote for.
electronic system.
Yeah, of course. And
I don't know.
the,
I'm starting to like trust less in electronic systems nowadays. I feel like the most trustworthy
what do you
is
have?
where
By
you
we,
go
I mean
physically and punch those
I'm gonna make
cards.
sure that no the numbers aren't fucked up. Basically, like create a company that makes sure this shit doesn't fuck
You
up.
can't
I try to do it
you can't make sure
before. It was called True Democracy.
when
And
something is consolidated like that is it's hard to make sure. Like I feel like the way we
how is
have
it hard to
like
make
voting
sure? How is
polling
this any better? How is this any better?
because we
This
go
is
in there,
garbage.
you punch a card, and then the machines just process it. You know, just like
This is
as low
garbage.
tech as
Look,
possible.
man, I'm not talking about that one-time voting thing you're thinking about. Voting and who you want as a leader isn't like a fucking event. It's a decision you have to fucking make. Why the fuck do we treat it as a fucking event? It's a decision. Why can't this decision be agreed upon and be fluid at every point in time? Right now, you don't have to trust it. It doesn't have to be official, but we should create one just so people can do it because this is the only way to have actual fucking freedom, true democracy, or whatever you want to call. Other than that, everything else is some low key shady shit. You vote somewhere and it goes in a box, and this box is supposed to actually. You know how easily computers are programmable? Like how easy it is to program a computer to do something else. How the fuck would we know in the first place that whatever you voted for actually got fucking inputted as what you voted for? How do you know? I don't know. I wouldn't know. I would hope it did, but you don't know. And there's oftentimes fucking recounts when there's an election. What does that mean? That the system it, they don't fucking doesn't know either. Like shit happens. Things move around. Names move around. Programs fuck up all the time, and you can easily program a machine to move numbers however the fuck you want.
But you can't program like more of those. It's like programming. It's like trying to hack one of those
Who
ENIACs.
controls the whole system, bro?
But
Who
try
who
hacking an ENIAC. You know,
who
like one of
rows
those
who rows these
1930
machines out? Who
light
rows
bulb
these machines out,
computers.
bro?
That's why like as low tech as you can get is good. You
No.
know, the more high tech you get, oh, I'm gonna just vote, and then the system is gonna aggregate everyone's data from all the phones, and then it's gonna
Yes.
give us spit out a number. Sure, that makes it very convenient,
Number.
but that's make it extremely hackable by a bribe to the app developers, and you know,
This is why I said I want to create. Like there needs like you're thinking of the problems of modern day economics on the company that yes, there's always a potential for a fucking bribe. Got it, granted. But whether it's bribed or not, it's the only fucking way to know who you actually stand for, how many people are behind this fucking actual idea. Why don't we have a system that tells us how many people are actually behind this idea? Voting is supposed to be it, but it's not really it because there's tons of flaws, including on like the information. I don't watch the news. So I'm gonna just fucking start off by saying that. But how much time in the news do they talk about the Libertarian Party or the Green Party?
Mm,
How much time I spend talking about them? I'm
yeah.
gonna guess less than 5%, and that's a very, very,
If they do talk about it, it's
very big
just
number.
it's like very dismissive, you know.
So again, this is a control of information. Not even control. It's just the Libertarian Party and the Green Party are not paying these companies tons of money. They need to get their shit together and pay tons of money to these companies so they can get the same shout out. Try to play the same game if they're not already bought out, which I assume they probably are, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, creating this system avoids all this bullshit and avoids all this fucking drama and avoids all this fucking mystery of how many people actually vote and want to think this way. Well, we're talking, I don't know if we started talking about it before, but if you wanted to, I believe, in my personal opinion, that if you wanted to vote for war, you should be allowed to vote for war, and potentially you could go to war as well. Okay, but there'd be a way that you can put your vote for going to war backed up by money that you would like to allocate to go to war, and this is how your tax should be spent. I don't understand how some fucking system is about trying to collect all this money and be like, nah, we got you. We know what's best for you, even though we didn't ever have a choice to decide where to put this, where this money would go, even though it's the taxpayers' money, and they, yeah, taxpayer money. Taxpayers never have a say in where the money goes, and they could say by voting for this person, they're voting for this person, da 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 da. But that's super indirect at this point in time. Why do we still have a representative democracy that's so static and filled with people we can't get out. Like we can't kick out because not enough people are interested in that voting system. It's insane. So there needs to be a way for everybody to actually voice their opinion. Nobody has to talk. Fuck it. We don't put chat rooms. Nobody's talk. Nobody's talk shit. We just put numbers, straight numbers, and you could vote for whatever issue. And yeah, it's basically the only way to guarantee any kind of true voice. Other than that, it's same old shit. Can't tell me I'm wrong. I think you're muted, bro.
Oh shoot, yeah, I was just saying like yeah, like you said, it's such a big event to vote for a president, and then like even these smaller things like the propositions, it's such a big, so much work to get the propositions, on the ballot next year, and then finally you can vote for it.
Why? Why does it take so long to actually do something that people want? I don't get the system, man. This whole
It might be good in some way, like to slow down, you know, changes because you don't want to get things changed so fast that you have no idea what the hell just happened.
how slow? What do you mean? Because right now it's
Like
not.
imagine if you started taking like 10 different supplements all at once. You have no idea
Hey, man, I don't
what.
see why not. If you want to do it. Fuck it.
Like when I take my supplements, I do it very experimentally. I'll just take like, one or two at a time, and then when those two work for a few days or a week, then I'll add my second, a third, or fourth, and every single week, and until and then I'll take them off once in a while too. I'll stop taking certain ones, just so I can acknowledge the difference. But yeah, there should be some sort of thing like that, with the voting too. Like we should be able to. Oh, this was what we voted for. This
Yeah.
is these are the specific indices that it impacted, so we can tell whether it worked or not. We got statistics right there. It'd be nice to have like some sort of evolved democracy.
Evolved democracy. I'm gonna write that one down. That one's interesting. Evolved democracy. Democracy evolved. That's better.
Democracy 2.0.
Nah, take it back. I like that. Mm, democracy evolved. What's up? I like it. Huh.
Yeah, just the technological hurdle, I think is, but we should stop using that as an excuse, maybe, Like, we got to figure it out.
For
Um,
what else?
Especially in this day and age where everything comes under question. Maybe, we can um,
Do
like
you want?
figure out a way to do this through an app that would streamline democracy rather than stick to previous, paper modes and, slow down the democratic process. But it's got to be tied to your social security number or something,
Driver
It's pretty,
license. Look, if you
yeah,
want to make it official, if you driver license, if you don't want to make it official, you're not gonna put shit. And we would only count the official votes on that's backed up by actual
yeah.
documentation
It
and
seems it
story.
seems totally doable.
It is.
It
It's
seems
completely
totally
doable.
doable. Like, you got your social security number.
Yeah.
Why the hell else do you have a national ID card
You
if you
know,
can't use it? What the hell's the point of it if you can't use that in a is it for the people then? Is that why it is? Or was it actually for controlling the people? If it was for the people, then we would be using our national ID cards to streamline democracy, and we wouldn't even need any people at the top anymore, you know?
no, you wouldn't.
But then that goes back to whole the philosophy and
Look,
Plato's
man,
Republic and how
people,
is can
pe-
people really choose for themselves?
people can be fucking crazy and erratic and vote high and low and whatever the fuck, but they usually don't. That's not how people usually are. People support someone until they don't support someone, or don't care about someone until they care. So it would be something similar to a
But then the
system.
thing is, there's a lot of misinformation too.
I
Like,
mean, but then that's all
think
part of the
about the
game.
whole like BLM being
That's
used as the
always.
funnel, like that kind of thing.
It's
Like,
always about information. It's always part of the game.
I learned how to do this. I mean, I saw this a while back, but if you go to BLM, you just type it in. Just type in BLM in your search engine. Go to the website, click donate, and then it goes into Act Blue. And then Act Blue, you can see like their. You gotta go into their actual their vendor recipients and stuff. So just search for Act Blue. So you're donating directly to Act
What's
Blue,
Act
right?
Blue? What does it say? Act Blue.
Right here. Like, you go to BLM, you click the donate button.
Oh, I see
This
the
is what
top.
a lot of people are gonna do this, right? They're gonna go to BLM.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to support Black people. I want to support. I'm against racism. I want to defund the police. And
Is that a
these
George Soros
reparations.
move right there or what? That
Huh?
sounds like a George. That sounds like a sneaky little move right there. Fucking donate goes to the Democratic Party.
Yeah. This is how you can find out that it just goes directly there. And
I
so
mean, the Democratic Party has enough money. Why are they trying to get money out of people trying to support this movement?
yeah. So you see the URL right there. It says
Your
secure.actblue.
Act Blue. Oh man.
Yeah, and then if you look into what Act Blue uh, charities list. Oh, Open Secrets is where it is. So you go to this Open Secrets Act Blue summary, and you can see the spending by cycle 2020. Okay, they got they got 1.6 billion, and then they spent 1.5
Oh,
billion.
on what?
A lot of it's probably administrative, but yeah, so you can see what they spent it on somewhere.
The fuck do you spend $1.5 billion on an administrative fucking thing? How big is this fucking company to spend $1.5 billion on administrative fucking shit?
So you can see
That's some bullshit.
so donors, right? You got to click the donors, and then okay, dang, Jeffrey Gural gave 10K. You can see everyone that like their name and who gave how much. How does someone not employed in San Diego get $5,000 to them?
I don't know.
An entertainer gave,
It's a lot of $5,000 not employed.
yeah. A lot of people
Malibu.
they just want to help black people. But are they helping black people? Let's look at the expenditures. They're giving all that money to Bernie, 20 so 186 million of these donors went to, that's including Black Lives Matters and other things under the Act Blue, went towards Bernie, Biden. It's a political organization. That's the point. It's politics. This is not going towards any specific um, things, like actions, policies. It's not going towards any charities.
Friends of Andrew Yang. He got 31 million. How much did Andrew Yang spend on this fucking campaign?
Yeah. But I mean, that's my point. It's politics. It's like a lot of people say, oh, we can post BLM stuff. It's just to save black people. Like around my community, it came out on Infowars actually, like the news. Like this guy just he like they posted all these posters in front of this community's house. Like okay, it was on the school's fence, but that fence is right in front of people's houses, and it's just saying stupid shit like fuck the police, like just really obscene stuff, and some of it's not obscene, like it's saying like trying to inform people of supposed systemic racism, and but this guy, he ripped it all off. Did you see the video or?
No, I didn't see the video.
Oh my god, you gotta see it. I mean, this happened literally like a few blocks from my house, and
This video.
it came onto national, news and stuff. So it came on Infowars. I say he's famous or infamous.
He's famous.
Where's the video?
I have a dream today.
Okay, on that one. All right, here it is.
I'm thinking you're fucking neighbor and you're tired of staying on the fence.
He's just like,
Why are you taking it down? Why are you taking it down?
Woo! Everyone agrees.
No, not everyone.
Oh, 'cause I live right there. I'm sick of fucking seeing it.
What? You can't even read it. You can't even see it that much.
Yeah, stick out. It's my house right there. Stick out. Are you serious? Stick out, bro. I am right there. Out of here, bro. I live. I live right there. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Go home. Go home. Go home. Go home.
look at how he assaults him.
Go home. Go home now, fool. Get the fuck out of here. All right. Hell no. This is my fucking block, bro. Get the fuck out of here there. What are you feeling? What are you doing? Get this shit, bro. Look at him break this shit. Hey, dude. You deserve it. All right.
That's his family right there, Is he gonna give him his glasses back or? This guy's 30 years old. He's acting like a little kid.
Let me catch you here again, bro. I want to be pretty in front of your kids, man. Oh, yeah? You think I'm fucking playing? I live right there. I'll stab you out your wit, bro. Shut the fuck up and keep your pussy, bitch. You're a pussy.
He basically assaulted him a couple times, and
I mean, that is an assault, quite literally.
he did assault him. He
Yeah.
bumped him chest to chest. He ripped off his glasses. He threatened his
Literally
family.
threw himself at him in the beginning.
Oh yeah. So like
That's battery.
he missed, and it was
I mean,
hilarious.
he got him, man.
I mean, if someone did that to me, I would not be able to hold my temper back like that. I would go into like a death fight, with all of it.
Just fucking tear off your
He
shirt.
threatened his family right in front of him. But that dude's 30 years old. He's acting like a little kid, and he kind of got what he deserved. Like he got his car broken into. Like they smashed all his windows. So yeah.
That's what he deserved.
I mean, I guess he kind of deserved that, right?
What else I
I
said?
feel like
Calm
it's pretty
down.
equal treatment. They didn't kill him or anything. They just
Let's
smashed
go
his
down.
car.
Let's see what it says.
I mean, it doesn't say that here. This is kind of like my community stuff. They don't know that they smashed his car windows and justice was served. This is my fucking block, bro. Back to
Now
the
that
song.
now that's white privilege.
Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of these protests is hilarious. Like black people go to these protests and it's like they're the only black people there.
I mean, it would happen some places, just
Like
statistically.
everyone is white and they're just like as soon as they leave, it's like it's just white people um, pity partying. It's pity party. That's what it is. They're. I mean, if I was black, I would be sick, you know, of all this stuff because I don't need people's pity, you know. And this isn't a country where um, you get held down, you know, and you can make it up. There's plenty of immigrants that make it up. You know, it's tough. A lot of people that come in, you know, it's really tough. But you can make it, and I don't know. I don't think people really have a good excuse.
Which brings me back to my topic. How much money is enough? This is a concept that fucking often baffled me because like I gave you a number before and it was 150,000. And do you think $150,000 is enough? A year is enough. No taxes, fuck it. We'll figure out some way, whatever number comes up, but you get 150K, all taxes included, like boom, you're done. Is that enough for you?
That's more than enough. Almost twice as enough.
Okay. So
I was kidding. I gotta water my plants. But
why how many plants do you have?
it's like I got three trees and like these vegetables, like cucumbers, tomatoes. Tomatoes are growing wild. I gotta pick a few
Nice.
cherry tomatoes. But yeah, it's pretty. It's not that hard. I mean, growing stuff isn't that hard. But I'm just kind of concerned that this area is not. Um, I mean, this state is not really safe enough in the long run. I'm gonna be stuck here. I don't want to get stuck here. I feel like a lot of the Republican states kind of more conservative.
Hmm.
But yeah, like money and stuff. I don't think it's gonna be so long as they don't choke the supply chain. I don't think it'll be really bad.
What do you mean choke the supply chain? You know they're already limiting coins, right?
They're,
What if they start limiting bills and they're like, all right, we're scared the money's gonna carry this disease now, so we're gonna take back all the real money and only have digital currency that we control completely, and can we don't have to print no more. It literally is computer code, right?
yeah, it's like a 3 5 year plan, you know.
That's some fun shit right there. And normally I would be all for a digital currency system, but I don't currently trust the system that runs the digital currency system. So, think Bitcoin's the answer or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on this summit um, by Dollar Vigilante and figure all this stuff out. I'm probably not gonna go all the way with what they're talking about and you know renounce my citizenship and all that, but yeah, I definitely think diversifying your liquid money is a good idea. Like into everything, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Um, But yeah, definitely Bitcoin looks good because it's inherently scarce. You can only have certain processing power to create that, and there doesn't seem to be any way to magically compute this stuff. Except quantum computing. But then even when that's created, sure, it might get um, it might have eventually that will be computation has its limits inherently. Bitcoin is based on computation power, and computation has its limits. And even if computation doesn't have its limits, I mean, it expands its limits. It's gonna eventually have a limit. But right now we definitely have a computation power limit. Um, Quantum computing can change that, and then we'll bump into the next limit, and then the next limit, and on and on. But it's not like digital currency where you can just add a zero whenever they want, and then we're all
Bitcoin is dividing from one, and our current financial system is adding another zero. Just like, yeah, add more,
yeah.
increase the numbers. We'll just inflate this to hundreds of trillions of dollars, and then we're gonna go to quadrillions because we can. And who knows to what end they may get to. But it always comes down to what can we do about it? What can we do about it? And that is, again, freedom to voice your opinion in actual ways that count. And right now, it'd be with your vote and with your money. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, that's what we need, man. We need a programmer. We gotta find a programmer who's gonna design something like this.
I think that has to come as a
No,
vote. It has to come as a vote first,
no,
and the government has to we can't just create a
no,
program and run.
no. We don't even make it official. Fuck making it official. That's that's too hard and requires too much bullshit. Just make it unofficial. It's just an unofficial way to do this. What I'm talking about doesn't have to be we're gonna pass it through and like no, fuck all
This is
that.
true.
Like
Yeah, it could happen because even with Bitcoin, it was at first the government laughs at it, and now they're all like, "Oh, actually, it could be a very important thing." Now they're all investing in it. Chase and all these other major.
let's do it,
Uh,
man.
so I think maybe
You
it's
should learn how to program our man so we can do this fucking thing. I'm talking about. Fuck all this. We'll go live somewhere else and fucking wherever the fuck outside. Well, I'll go live outside the country. You can stay here. I don't care what the fuck. I would completely balance. If it the system has too many fucking limitations and ceilings and walls and regulations.
But do you think any country outside of US, can really
Most countries,
say no?
most countries are going to be better than what you can do here, and in many regards, including when it comes to freedom to do business. Most countries.
Hmm.
So this is why I say don't just limit yourself to here. So much cheaper to go do somewhere else. You want a bigger house that actually grows a bunch of shit? Anywhere else in the United States will give you that too. Cheaper, bigger, greener. Like no chemicals near water. Because again, do those governments spend hundreds of millions of dollars putting chemicals in the water? No, they spend hundreds of millions of dollars on their yachts and shit. different kind of expenditures over there.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be less than here. Things are weird, funky, fucked up everywhere. I agree. But to what degree? Here, there's a lot of things that you have to jump through. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump
I don't know. Here, we're the sigil of the world.
through. Because of public perceptions don't mean shit.
No, not just that, but we're historically, we started the revolution. Uh, Declaration of Independence. we're the first nation. I mean, this nation is the first nation with the Constitution, right? Like a Bill of Rights. And
I don't think that's true. Check that out. Fact check that one. I don't know that.
U.S. There's that. Was U.S. the first nation to have a constitution? Yes. You just created just government. Um,
Okay, I'll give you that. The U.S. was the first country to write a constitution, and
so that means, we're the example. The rest of the world,
people don't look at
take,
the U.S. like that, bro.
take
Like,
vaccines.
how many people have that? Like, fuck, what?
There's human right violations all around the world, and government leaders, they don't even look over it. But if something happens here, when something happens here, everyone's like, goes bonkers for it. Like just look at BLM. I'm pretty sure there wasn't BLM stuff, um, operatives all over the world. I could be wrong, but there probably weren't Antifa all around the world.
Bro,
And
it,
people are
it
just
goes back to the manipulation, and if you do it in one place, it'll pick up, and people will pick up the ideas. This
exactly.
happened with Bernanke or something. I think his name was. He was the first one that started this like 100 years ago. This
So
kind of mentality, this kind of fucking crowd mentality.
there's going to be some sort of civil war, you know, here, and the the empire, maybe there might be a side that loses, their side that wins, but whichever is the winner, that's going to inform the rest of the world to follow that order, I think. I don't know.
Or the rest of the
Maybe,
world be like, all right, we're gonna do our own thing now.
maybe the empire might fall. Maybe the rest of the world is only following because the military
Yep,
intervention is forcing them to follow.
yep.
But I think it's also more than that. And I think it's also like related to freedom because tyrannical governments are a natural thing. It's not just the U.S. is magically tyrannical. Tyranny is everywhere in the world, independently. It's like
Well,
bacteria.
it's because they all follow the underlying system. Like, it's not tyranny for human sake. It's the system that was imposed upon them that creates this kind of tyranny. Tyranny is not a part of human nature. It's a part of human nurture. It
Tyranny,
has to be. It's grown from the environment. If you
tyranny is
need
part
this
of
to survive, then you have this
tyranny is a part of government nature.
government
Like
nature.
some
Yeah,
unless
I
you
agree.
can unless
I
you
agree.
can like fix the government
Yeah, you
in
can.
any country,
You
we
can.
might not be able to because a lot of these other countries have a lot less respect for human rights.
You can fix all of these governments easily.
Try it with just one, you know, and then
Locally first would be
see
smart.
see if the U.S. Goes and suicides them. You know,
Who?
Most likely Hillary Clinton will send suicide requests to those people, to those governments that, um, try to do something outside of the system. Like whenever someone does something gold-backed currency, like that's one thing Jeff was talking about from TDV. Is just like how a lot of the nations in Africa, whenever they try to start some sort of gold-backed currency independent from the reserve currency, then they get killed and stuff, and then replaced.
Yes, this is why it's
So
always
we're like
important
the
to have a
center.
decentralized system.
We're like the centralized system. We're the Hydra. We're the head of the Hydra. So
A
I mean,
very
if
good
we
way to
don't,
put it. That is a very good way to put it. Head of the Hydra.
so if we don't like fix it here, like you can run. You might be able to run a few more years, but eventually you're gonna run out of time.
I don't know, man. I think the head of the Hydra is a stronghold, and everything else is just being held together by this illusion of control. And once that illusion starts to crack, this place can potentially become a hellhole. And meanwhile, the U.S. is fixing its problems internally. The rest of the world would basically go, all right, we can finally do shit our way, and we'll stop trading. They'll stop trading in the U.S. dollar, and they'll start trading within each other and creating little fucking treaties and stuff, similar to what they do now, but without the U.S. dollar. That's a potential reality as well. And this is the potential reality that I kind of hope they take because other than that, why would you follow a country to its own fucking demise? And I understand that a lot of the economics are runs off it, but consumers can always be replaced, right?
Hmm.
So in this capitalist system, that's basically how you're supposed to look at it. Consumers can always be replaced. You can always find someone else to sell this shit to. That's how it fucking works. And I think it's a pretty chaotic system based on arbitrary numbers. A lot of the stuff we buy, we don't really buy. They're stored somewhere at some point in time, and eventually get thrown away if they're not used. So it's not efficient in that way. Like there's still a lot of wastage in many ways, shapes, and forms, especially in the agricultural sector. Especially in the agricultural sector. So weird. But the U.S. kind of invaded everywhere and took everyone's vegetables and shit. Give me all your shit. Give me all your plants. Give me your banana trees. Fucking for real, man. They went to war with banana trees. The U.S. is intense. They don't give a fuck. They were like, they gonna take our bananas? Like, end of conversation. And they invaded Latin America heavily in the 1900s. And it's invasions that they're not called invasions because they weren't fucking wars, but by any other sense of like, if you compare the numbers that America sent to the numbers that Britain and fucking Columbus had over here in Cortez, America sent thousands of fucking troops over there, bro. It's an invasion by any of the other fucking like name.
These are interesting statistics to look at. Uh, Total value of U.S. agricultural exports, 136 billion.
Nice.
Total number of farms, 2 million. Where's the imports? Total value of U.S. agriculture imports, 130 billion. So we're USD wise, we're at equal in terms of imports and exports.
But look at where the numbers are coming from. One is exporting from a first world country, the United States. The second one is importing from mostly third world countries where their market is devalued. So these numbers simplify the money that's moved in, but not the amount of resources that were put into that.
So we're substantially importing more.
Yes.
But what about like qualitatively? Like, can we sustain ourselves without importing?
The US,
US,
yeah, they
US,
can.
we have tons of wheat, we have tons of milk,
Yeah,
tons of corn,
yeah.
grain, red meat.
Those
Okay,
all
so what
make
if
good
this
cake.
whole COVID thing, all this COVID scare,
Lots of beer. Lots of beer.
so what if this COVID,
140.6 metric tons?
yeah, people
Billion
just be
tons?
like drunk and fat, all those
Look at
carbs.
these fucking all the stuff we make. Milk, corn, wheat, red meat, barley, grain.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. I mean, sure,
Uh,
we won't get coconuts, we won't get avocados. Maybe, they're super expensive, but I think we'll survive. There might be some supply chain disruptions, but you know, this whole post shit hits the fan scenario you're talking about, where everyone's kind of like, oh, finally, U.S. isn't breathing down our necks. We'll be fine now. The rest of the world, they're actually doing better than they were when. Maybe that's like a really optimistic scenario in my opinion, because I think that once the
very.
U.S. isn't once because the U.S. is like the global police. Once the U.S. is like looking the other way, China's gonna just say hello to everyone. China and Russia.
That's hilarious. That's a great way to put it. Just say hello
Yeah.
to everyone.
Not to mention all the drug
Oh my
cartels.
god.
They're
That's
probably gonna
great.
take advantage of the situation that's already gonna, even if China and Russia don't do some sort of geopolitical, domination. Um, there's gonna be a lot of crime at the local level too. You know, everywhere, all over the world, yeah, especially U.S. But you know, you got like MS-13 isn't just in South America and North America. They're all over the world. And there's talk about it.
MS-13, that's the gang you're worried about, bro?
Well, all the that's for me. That's like an umbrella of like all the different drug cartels, gangs that are
That's
there.
like the lowest fucking, like, that's
Is
not,
it not? That's not that low. The
it's
MS-13 is
pretty damn low.
it's
How,
one of the.
how many killers and how many drug dealers do they have?
There's a lot of different gangs, but MS-13 is one of the major ones. Latin Kings, Mongols. Like I'm not gonna remember. You know, Los Zetas, the most technologically advanced, sophisticated, dangerous cartel in Mexico. You know, these guys are gonna be knocking on people's doors.
Those people are not cool, bro.
You know, Javier and Juarez are gonna want a piece of the pie, and um,
But I'm just saying, you brought up MS-13, that's just, there's a lot more other people.
oh yeah, there's a lot of people that we don't even know, including your own good neighbors who didn't prepare so well. You know, I'm pretty sure not everyone in it's not gonna be all rosy, you know, around the world.
It is
It's
not.
because like you know, the government will definitely. I mean, we have all this um, false science with you know, and false science dictatorship, especially when you have so much information about the harm that vaccines do, they're probably gonna like mass vaccinate everyone, then require you to be on the grid and require you to do all this stuff just so that you can get by and survive and all that. Especially in the big cities. Um,
How many times are they gonna do this though? Like,
that's
is
how it's
this
gonna
gonna be
be.
the only time? How is this ever guaranteed that this is gonna be the only time they ever do this shit? And if they're gonna start doing this shit now, I mean, they've been kind of doing it with fucking the flu shot, but that was not mandatory.
It's
This
pretty much
this
it's pretty much
replaces a flu shot, but it's mandatory. I don't
yeah.
think
There's
anybody's taking flu shot right now.
yeah a lot of people, less people are taking flu shots and stuff. But yeah, if you're of the opinion that the systemic collapse is not global,
It is gonna be global. I get
yeah,
it. Shit's gonna be
I
fucked.
I
But
think it's gonna be a global thing where they try to. I think it's not even gonna be.
I think
It's
their local systems have a stronger resistance strength. Like they're gonna be able to withstand this
yeah.
more
That's
because
what Jeff is
they
saying.
have stronger local economies for sure.
Yeah, that's what
Our
Jeff
economy is
is
very strange and focused and I
specialized.
yeah, very specialized and I get that we can grow anything here in the United States and yeah, the United States can self-sustain. Potential is a problem for sure.
I mean,
But
people can eat their grass in their front yard, you know, to survive.
pretty sure they can't eat grass. Pretty sure people cannot eat grass. Do not eat grass.
Really, can you digest grass? Like,
I don't think so.
can humans eat grass? Eattheweeds.com. Huh.
Eattheweeds.com.
That simple question has a complex answer. Yes, no, and maybe.
Shit.
So you can eat parts of it. What most folks want to know is can you eat the culms and blades, stems and leaves? Culms and blades. Uh, oh man, sounds like it's pretty. I didn't. Who knew grass was so complex?
Good point.
Yes, we are not multi-gastric. We aren't designed to break down cellulose. We don't get much nutrition from grass. And then there's problem cyanide.
That's cyanide. Just throw it in there. So the answer is no.
Why is it no? I like a little cyanide now and then.
Well, unless you like a little cyanide, then yeah, go for it.
Oh man, these things, I got these things all over my yard, these sandburrs.
Yeah.
These kind of weeds are so
Where are
hard to
they?
pick out. They're like all over my yard. I like try to pick out weeds and I can't because kill me. So I have to put on the gloves, and they still penetrate the gloves sometimes.
It's insane.
Talking about the fibrous things and Jesus, long article. Huh, okay, so this maybe. As long as it doesn't have cyanide, you can chew it and spit out the fiber. I mean, how did Taoist mountain monks live hundreds of years, supposedly, according to these Taoist books, on just pine tree needles? We
Pine tree
humans,
needles.
yeah, we humans have a very high capacity. Like, you know about sun gazing.
Yeah.
Like, definitely something we gotta
Pine
talk
tree
about.
needles?
Yeah, they just eat pine tree needles and make pine tree soup, like pine tree tea. Like, so they have the vitamin C in that too. So they live for hundreds of years off just that. Like not all like the ones that live like 85, they lived on that. But then there were some Taoist monks that lived for 200 years. They grew their own vegetables. It's not that complicated. Have a shovel, have a few seeds, and plant seeds and grow vegetables. I mean, it's a mountainous area where there's plenty of moisture and you got water, so it's not that complicated. It's not like you live in a desert. You live in a very moisture-rich environment in the mountain, and just just chop wood and keep yourself warm and just plant your stuff and meditate all day.
That's the life, right?
It's a tough life, but at least you got like half the day. Like the regular life is tough too. Still, you gotta drive to the grocery store. You gotta work, give away half your day to working something that doesn't really matter to you. Uh,
How do we get out that system, bro? Let's all get out that system.
but I mean, you gotta. That's your social contribution. I'm not against working, but it's all
Is that
work.
really social contribution?
Yeah, you're doing
Are
something for
most
yourself.
are most jobs social contribution or just ways to get by? Are they really contributing to society or just being cogs in the machine?
Things can be a way to get by as well as social contribution. A
Like
grocery store,
granted, but how much of those things to get by are social contribution? How much are not?
grocery store clerk is pretty important.
I would take that, yeah.
Se-
Anything to do
Security
with
guard. I
food, I'll
mean,
give you.
unless you're talking about replacing everything with robots, but
Yeah, dude. Everything's gonna be replaced by robots very, very fucking soon. 5 to 10 years, you're gonna see tens of millions of people without a job because of fucking automation. This is happening. This has been happening for the past
I
20 years.
bet, especially since small businesses are now destroyed, they're probably all the big corporations that have money to spend on that kind of infrastructure are going to do that.
Yes. Unless people can start localizing their production and buying resources and selling with each other. If you want to talk about a free market economy, I am talking about creating a base work for a free market economy and a libertarian society. You don't have to get help from the government, but you have the access to resources and opportunities to do that what you want to do, whether it be in this monetary system or not. I mean, I want to evolve beyond this. I think we can actually do it. Not everybody at first and not everybody at the same time. I think that's asinine. I think it's going to start off with a nation or a city. I like cities because I like the concept of city states, an independent league of city states that connect and network with each other and share resources with each other and fucking yeah. And then we do that everywhere. And then every fucking city can or city state can have their own fucking rules and regulations and I don't know. I'm all for freedom and I think people should be able to express freedom in their area. And if people want to pull together and do that, then that they should go ahead. I don't think rules should be enforced everywhere. The same rules enforced everywhere. Because I think that's asinine. I think everybody should have to follow the same rule set. And I'm not talking about like human rights and freedom and so that's all a given in my point of view. People should are equal. People are one. I know I've talked about this with you, but like yeah, people are one, dude. Like literally, energy is intense. Energy is just an intense fucking reality. Like the energy that creates this fucking reality is just mind-boggling. So why not create a fucking happy reality? Why not create a reality where we actually evolve beyond this bullshit system?
We're so disconnected from that energy, I feel like.
Yes, I agree. We are disconnected from this energy, but why can't we reconnect? What's stopping them? As a collective, I think we can change the world. Alone, we ain't changing shit. Alone, we're only gonna get over through our fucking Twitter wars and other nonsense. It's retarded. That's not how you solve issues. How important shit is in Twitter is not how to solve issues. You solve it by putting your vote somewhere, voicing your opinion, and putting the funding behind it. And the organization that comes from the funding, because everything has to go through funding first. If it's not getting funding, it most likely ain't getting done, especially in our political and business sector and market economy. Yeah.
Well, definitely should pick up on the um, systemic discussion again. But,
So we'll start off this time. I took no notes, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the
yeah, we talked
shit.
about um, is it everything pretty much like BLM, the latest news on um, Maxwell, and maybe some systemic deep state ties, and not eating cyanide,
Don't eat grass.
grass,
Don't eat grass.
don't eat grass. Be careful if you eat grass.
Good.
Yeah, I think we're pretty agriculturally strong, and I'm pretty optimistic that U.S. can support itself. Like we're one of the biggest exporters.
But most of that food is not for people that we export. I mean, the corn and the wheat and all this stuff. Well, it's the corn is not for people, it's for animals. A lot of food we export is for animals.
Right.
So can you maintain this
Right.
agricultural system?
A lot of it's for animals, huh?
Yes, dude, we
A
feed a
lot of
lot
it's
of animals.
due to COVID. They're like, oh, two people got COVID. Let's shut down the whole meat production facility. It doesn't make any sense. Um, that's what I'm concerned about. So all this grain is for meat. If we can't eat the meat because of COVID or whatever new swine flu hybrid they release and stuff, then we're in trouble, man. Because we're gonna have to just eat animal food.
That's it, man. Grow some trees fucking everywhere. Get it, we have to create our own collective, our own community. Let's start working on that. Let's create our own community. I want to go international because it'll be cheaper and easier to create a community or collective. But the US just has a lot of red tape. I don't know. I think.
What? Why would it be cheaper to? What expenses are you talking about?
All of it. Operating expense, the land, the buildings, fucking the taxes. Everything would be cheaper anywhere else in the world. For real. It would. Ooh.
For sure. Interesting. Well, I'll talk to you later then.
All right, man. Have a good day. Good talking to you. And peace out, everybody. Have a good night. I hope you enjoyed the talk. Peace.